Hello, welcome people. Welcome to Adventures with Truth. Let me start by saying Happy Diwali to you all. It's the festival of lights, and we're gonna start something new, something with a bang. And that's what we're about on this show. This is my podcast, my show, as you can say, my talk show, and we're gonna call it Adventures with Truth. Why? Well, of course. Let me tell you why. Because I feel like in this world that we live in today, truth is something that's getting harder and harder to find. And the more I look for it, the more I feel like people are straying away from it. And on top of that, I'm somebody who likes to bend the truth. Maybe go on an adventure with the truth and see how far this truth can take us. How far does it hold good for? How much water does it bear? You know? That kind of thing. And so that makes me think that this is actually quite an apt name for the show. Me, well, I have many names too. Some friends call me V, some call me Vishesh, but you all can call me, I would say, Captain Crack Sparrow. Yeah, that's right, baby. I am Captain Crack Sparrow. I'm your host of this podcast, and we are gonna have a lot of fun here. We're gonna dive into the topics that some of you might have heard about, some topics that nobody would have heard about, some topics that even I haven't heard about. Because that's what the truth is about. The more you know, the more you realize that how little do you know? The fuck do you know? I just went outside a little while ago. It's about 2:30 a.m. right now. So, some can say Diwali is over, but it's still, the spirit of Diwali. You can still see all the, lights around. Fireworks are going on in the background and everything. And I just, took a deep breath in the balcony. I love me some smell of gunpowder. That's what air smells like right now. Gunpowder. And I'm not saying that in a bad way. We are not here to condemn the pollution. We are not here to condemn crackers. I would like to advocate for green, safe crackers, better crackers. But yeah, nobody's taking anybody's crackers away. Especially when we cannot take away the crackers from the big boys. The nukes, as they call it. Well, if they are not giving up their nukes, why should we give up our crackers? And of course, we Indians do have a thing for patakas, so I think we're gonna keep our crackers right here. I saw the, cops rolling around, they were patrolling the area, trying to see if nobody's, make sure doing anything shady. A lot of cops around, but yeah, general people weren't, I think, too much worried about bursting some crackers that, they procured from here and there. No harm, no foul. I mean, luckily this year Diwali came later than pollution, so a lot of people didn't have, the festival to blame on it, of course, and everybody knew what it really is coming from. The Punjab. Udte Punjab is really, really smoking some deep stuff. And they are exhaling it, the smoke, right up our faces. And it seems there's not a goddamn thing we can do about it. And there's not a goddamn thing the government of the state want to do about it. So now that we are, subjected to smell all the smoke, I think gunpowder is actually a better alternative. Because, usually you go out and you're smelling the smoke of all the parali that's burning and the, what do you call it? The crop. Right, they're burning it in Punjab by the fucking masses. Even my brother went there and he showed me a video which he himself captured, not something, I saw on the news. It was crazy. Smoke looks like, it will put the clouds to shame. That's how dense it is. I mean, the clouds can take a lesson from this smoke. How to look menacing. Yeah, menacing. That's the word for it. So, yeah, now we get that pollution, all that sulfur and nitrogen and whatnot, the pollutants, PM 2.5, yada, yada, yada. And I don't even get a kick out of it. Think about it. Nobody gets a kick out of it, and mostly you can't even smell the gases per se. Sure, you can feel that your breathing is getting heavy, your eyes start watering, there's a slight irritation in all of your orifices, but you don't get the kick out of it. For instance, like some people consume alcohol not for the taste of it. Can you believe it? Nobody likes that taste. But of course, of all those people do it for the high, right? But when you smell this smoke, you don't even get the high. So, which is why I would like to make a case for gunpowder. It's one of those things that, sure, it fucks up some things, but nothing beats the smell of fresh gunpowder in the air. I mean, yeah, of course, we do wanna, contribute to the atmosphere. Sometimes I feel like we're these small little creatures who are just put on this earth and we're trying to do our shit. We have no part in the making. So maybe now the human beings have come to a place where they think that maybe we should have a part in making of this planet. We should control things. And of course, being the stupid monkeys we are, we cannot make things better. So if you're gonna change it or affect it, we're gonna control it. Let's fuck some shit up. Traditional monkey fashion. So yeah, but it's all cool. I like Diwali, man. It's one of the few festivals I like. Holi and Diwali are actually quite a close one for me. The vibe of Holi it's kind of nice. The summer is coming around, people are throwing water balloons, water, gulal and everybody. Everybody's playing music. People are doing bhang and whatnot, acting crazy. Even there you have cops and everything, right? But I feel like Holi is kind of a cleaner festival, but the problem is we don't spread out Holi as we do with Diwali, right? For Diwali, it's like first you have Dhanteras, then you have Choti Diwali, then you have the big sister, right? The big Diwali or Badi Diwali. And on top of that, people are exchanging gifts with their families, friends, colleagues, and whatnot. All the shops are set up in that way, everywhere there's lighting and everything. So the whole paraphernalia of the festival goes about for 2 weeks. While as Holi, it's there for a day, two max, and it's gone. And it's gone. Yeah. Speaking of gunpowder, excuse me. I think I found some full jhadi dust in my lungs. So yeah, what's up, people? How was your Diwali? Let me know. And PSA, public service announcement. This is not the usual attire that I go with. It does not represent me, my choices, my preferences. But in the vibe of Diwali, I did decide to dress up a little bit ethnic. And since it's an introductory excuse me, all that gunpowder is coming to my head. So, since this is an introductory episode, I thought maybe get a little spark up there. Maybe add some color to it. Do you think we should add some color to it? Let me add some color to it. Colors. Aha. How wonderful life is with colors. I can't even imagine being colorblind. And for the people who are just listening on Spotify, things just got RGB in the room. I don't know how else to describe it. The vibe is feeling RGB, which, good for us, falls right in line with the day it is. Diwali. Oh yeah. It's funny. I wonder for how many more years, Are people gonna try to ban crackers instead of finding an alternate way with it? You know, how how much longer can we test the public without actually giving them a solution? Well, if you believe the book 1984 by George Orwell, it seems like a century, and then another century, and a century after that. If you do it right, you can actually, control the people or the masses, I would say indefinitely. That's something that people believe. I am not so sure about it. I think you have to, maintain a fine line. You have to maintain a balance, a dance with it. Yeah, you can have. Oops, the camel wants to take part in the episode. You're gonna send the camel back right now. So, as I was saying, you have to maintain a balance while fucking with the people or doing like a psyop on the demographic. You gotta give them something here and there and take something away from them. Make sure they don't see the big picture. They should have a short memory span, they should focus their attention on short things, and that's that. Even Supreme Court did, put a ban on all firecrackers that contain barium and some other chemicals, which is, I think, it's a much better way to go about it. Because you don't want to just, ban the entire thing, because that doesn't really make sense. It doesn't make sense. Does this make sense? I don't know if it does. Does it? Does it not? Anyways, so making of sense and of everything is also gonna be a theme of this podcast. And on top of that, I'm also planning to do a lot of vlogs here, wherever I go, wherever I travel, my adventures with truth, and honestly, my adventures with myself. I'm gonna put that on the channel as well. Hope somebody enjoys that. If you're just an audio listener, well, try to check out the channel. I don't even have a Spotify but artist account yet, and I'm talking as if Wally. You know what that is? That's called being hopeful, thoughtful, resourceful even. And if you're not a good resource to yourself, man, to your own life, to your own personality, well-being, what are you even doing? What are you even doing? Today on Diwali, as I was going about my day, I noticed something fancy. Some people, might be familiar with Karl Marx's theory that class is the ultimate divide, the haves and have nots, which may or may not be true. We're going to discuss that on some other episode, but I did see something which made me think of his theory. You see, in India, in Delhi especially, you have a lot of beggars and unfortunate people who are, sitting or standing at red lights looking for change, asking for money, trying to wash your car or whatnot. And on the occasion of Diwali, I saw that not every unfortunate guy or guy asking for money at the red light is the same. At certain parts, in certain areas of the city, certain demographics and certain genders of unfortunate people were dressed much better. They were actually looking like, yes, this guy is standing on a red light, but it's his Diwali too. He's wearing all shiny and gaudy looking clothes, looking like he stepped out of a rap music video. He, she, they, whatever. And some guys were actually looking just as helpless as they usually do. Messed up clothes, looking for, any way out of this terrible situation. That made me think, holy shit, man. Like, if this guy or this person has the ability or the resources to dress better on the occasion of Diwali, which everybody should, have the privilege to, but if they have it and that other guy does not have it, they are not the same. So I would say there's even levels to misfortune, people. That's the lesson. That's the truth you're gonna learn about today. Of course, learning must not stop. And even when we are talking shit, we are talking trash, we must try to learn something. So what did you learn from it? Hmm? This camera, this camera, this camera. Wherever you are watching from, or this mic that you're listening from. Is there something else to be learned? I don't know. As for the podcast, I think we should keep it small, crisp, tight, and then build on it as we go on. So I think we will probably keep it about 30 minutes, 40 minutes for starters. Oh yeah. Still got some gunpowder in there. I think I'm gonna go out and take another hit of that sweet old Diwali musk. So yeah. And just to keep you all excited, maybe I should give you a hint for the episodes to come. And one of the things that we're going to discuss is how it seems to us and the science and archaeology and all the combined human intellect that drugs are the basis of all religion. Let it sit inside. It seems that drugs drugs are the foundation of all religion. Now, it seems that there are lot of things which point to that theory, but we still gonna have to bend it, touch it, rub it, and see where the truth takes us. Another thing that I was recently researching, and I found out that Jupiter, right, the Brihaspati, the planet Jupiter in our solar system, is actually so huge that it's not exactly revolving around the sun. Rather, the sun and Jupiter are revolving around a common plane, or rather a point which lies outside the surface of the sun. Think about that. This giant planet is actually swinging our sun around as much as the sun is swinging all the other planets around and all the asteroids and everything as well on top of that. Yeah. Should I give you something else before I go and get me a sweet gunpowder hit? Oh yeah, how about this? Coming out of the Indian automotive sector, we believe, of course, right, that Tata is one of the biggest conglomerates in India and they have a huge automotive division, right? Tata Cars. And we have another good and upcoming or rather a well established Indian brand, which is Mahindra. So now usually if you look at the number of the cars sold that are sold per month from each dealership, Tata would actually top all the sales, right? If you take all the sales of all the cars combined, I think Tata would beat Mahindra by a significant margin. But that's not the whole picture. Mahindra is doing actually so well that they are one of the top 5, or I would say I think top 3 tractor manufacturers in the world. And with their new Mahindra logo and Mahindra 2.0 strategy, they are doing actually quite well in even established markets. That's Western markets, including developed markets such as Australia, upcoming markets such as South Africa and whatnot. And yeah, they're getting quite a good reception in a lot of their cases. So that should tell you something. And they have a lot of like a huge dealer network which is global, much more on scale, that's much greater, far greater than Tata. So yeah, that's what's up. Now of course Tata has their fires in other pots too, but still, I remember Tata has been actually like a big player for a long time. But yeah, Mahindra has not been quiet. That's something I found quite interesting. And speaking of interesting, recently I found out that Delhi government has banned BS3 stage petrol vehicles and BS4 diesel vehicles. So a diesel that let me break it down for you. A diesel vehicle which is BS stage 4 was allowed to be sold and registered by the RTO up until I think February of 2020. That's when BS6 came out. Right, some auto manufacturers were of course giving it in 2019 as well, but that's when it came out. So, and the BS3 petrol cars can be as old as 2010, which would be about 13 or almost 14 years old by now. So, following this logic, a diesel car which was sold just 4 years ago or even 3 years ago in some cases is not allowed to be operated in the city, while a petrol car which might be even 13-14 years old is allowed. Can anybody make the sense of that? What the fuck are we doing here, people? What have we come to? Is nobody sober in the government? That's the idea I get. Everybody is high or drunk or gone or handing out freebies, air, suck on the government's nipple. That's what they're trying to do. Suck on the nipple, man. Keep milking the cow as you do. Keep milking the cow. And most of the BS3 petrol vehicles, I'm sure, would not even pass the emissions test, while as a 2019 or 2020 BS4 diesel vehicle might, and yet they are not allowed, and the other ones are somehow. Yeah. So, what's the truth? Truth is, nobody cares. The people in charge are not actually trying to make a difference, at least not for the people. They're trying to make a difference for themselves, and that's pretty evident. Well, it's pretty evident to me. It's not evident to the masses. Maybe that's why they're still in power. I think that should sum it up. How we're gonna do it. I might even discuss moon landing. It happened, but some shady shit happened there too. Now that's something we wanna talk about. So I think we should wrap it up. Hope you're good people. Be well. Once again, happy Diwali. And I'll see you on the next episode. Or the first episode. Episode? Episode. Pratishod. Atishod. Alright. People. Namaste. Bye bye. Take care. Shabba khair. Shalom. Good night.